Outstanding game last night. He just dominated. Earlier today, of course, he had a quiet game against King High School, but they love to give him that lob. He gets behind the defense. You set him a pick. He curls around from that alley-oop lob. That's something Keon Clark loves to do. And like you said, he will tower over everybody over Palatine Fremd today.
Well, it's been a storybook season in many ways for the Palatine Fremd Vikings, and their head coach, Mo Tharp, is in his 18th season at Fremd. And Joe Passion had a chance to visit with Mo a few minutes before tip-off to get his thoughts about this contest.
Fremd coach Mo Tharp always wears his Mickey Mouse ties to games, and I would imagine if you win here, you're going to Disney World?
Well, as a matter of fact, I am. I'm taking a trip to Orlando in early May, so I will make a stop at Disney World. We'll look for some more Disney ties.
All right, on the basketball side of things, consolation game, how do you keep your kids up for it and playing especially with the big kid from Danville?
Well, I really told our kids afterwards, I thought we played a very good game today. I was very proud of them. And I said, guys, we just have to put this behind us. It's over with. You know, we have nothing to be ashamed of. Played as hard as we could. That's done. Now let's go out. We'll prepare for Danville, play as hard as we can against them. And yes, Clark will give us a lot of headaches, a lot of problems. He's a very good player, very agile for a player his size. So we're going to have to look for some double downs, good blockouts. But, you know, they've got a couple people outside shooting pretty well, too. So we will really have to play well to be able to beat them.
And the guy who's really going to have to play well for Fremd, Kenny, is Mike Mangan, their leading scorer and rebounder.
Yeah, he's a football player. Earlier this afternoon, of course, he was hit in the head, had a couple of stitches, but he's a blue-collar worker. He's going to Eastern Illinois to play football, Brian. But this young man should have a good game today going up against Keon Clark. Here you see him right here, number 40 in your screen. Loves to get in the paint, loves contact. He should just knock around with Clark this afternoon.
Well, we know the Vikings are going to win third place in this year's state tournament, but will it be Palatine Fremd, or will it be Danville? We'll have the starting lineups coming up after these local messages.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, all the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
We are just about set for the starting lineups between tonight's contest, Palatine Fremd and Danville. And for those, let's head to our public address announcer, Steve Adams.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's meet the starting lineups for tonight's third place game, featuring the Vikings of Danville High School, entering this game with a record of 27-6, and the Vikings of Palatine Fremd, entering this game with a record of 24-8. At forward for Danville, a 6'4" senior, number 22, DeMarco Wright. At forward for Fremd, a 6'5" senior, number 40, Mike Mangan. At the other forward for Danville, a 6'4" senior, number 20, Antaeus Clark. And at the other forward for Fremd, a 6'3" senior, 34, Steve McGrath. At center for Danville, a 6'11" senior, number 23, Keon Clark. And at center for Fremd, a 6'3" senior, 32, Keith Lazowski. At one of the guards for Danville, a 5'11" senior, number 3, David Dixon. And at guard for Fremd, a 6'3" senior, 24, Dan Leah. At guard for Danville, a 5'11" senior, number 5, Travis Schofield. And at guard for Fremd, a 5'9" junior, number 14, Matt Penzino.
Our starting lineups, first of all, for Danville, a very experienced group. 5 seniors will be on the floor to begin this contest for Gene Gorley, who is in his 16th year at Danville. Meanwhile, an experienced group also for Palatine Fremd. Mo Tharp with 4 seniors in his starting lineup, including a junior at point guard. Meanwhile, let's take a look, Kenny, at the CarX factors of the game.
Well, I think for Danville, they have to have a big game from Clark, and of course, they have to guard the perimeter because Fremd can shoot so well. I think Palatine Fremd, they have to get good shots because with the big guy Clark down low, you may not get many second opportunities. And of course, limit Keon Clark, maybe, you know, not let him dictate like he did last night.
Our factors of the game brought to you by CarX Muffler and Brake. For mufflers, brakes, and shocks, don't worry, call the CarX man. And our starting lineups are brought to you by Zenith. Palatine Fremd will be the home club in this contest. They're in white with forest green and gold trim, and Danville in their road maroon uniforms with a white trim.
Right to Clark, right off the bat.
Triple team and lost the ball inside.
Well, that's good defense, Brian. You know, you have the big guy down there. They're going to collapse, double down, in some cases triple down on Clark.
Here's a three-pointer out front, Keith Lazowski, who converts on 37% of his shots from three-point range, and Palatine Fremd with an early 3-0 lead.
Well, Keith had an outstanding game earlier today. You know, he did get a lot of little dirty things, you know, keeping balls alive on the offensive boards. Oh, nice pass out.
Three-pointer is long by Antatius Clark, but the rebound is tracked down and losing the ball inside and on the push again. The Vikings of Fremd, who lead it 3-0 with just about a minute gone. First quarter here in the Class AA boys third place contest. Right of the key, Mike Mangan converts, so it is 5-0 in favor of Palatine Fremd.
Well, Mangan, their leading scorer. This young man plays very hard, very aggressive. You saw in the open the film clip, he likes to go into the paint and get physical.
Clark missing another jumper, and clearing the rebound is Mangan. Mangan minus the bandage that he had above his head earlier. Boy, almost a carry there, but Fremd controlling. Lazowski had it, blocked by Keon Clark, but a foul going to be called on Keon as he tried to corral the ball after blocking it. Boy, showing some range there.
Well, you know, he has those long arms. He just reached out and blocked that shot. But unfortunately, going for the basketball, the block is clean. Look at those long arms. The block is clean, but going for the basketball, that's when he gets tied up with Keith and knocks him down for the foul.
First foul of the ball game on 6'11" senior Keon Clark from Danville. So Fremd with the basketball back and the 5-0 lead. Here's Mangan right of the circle. Now penetrates against DeMarco right, but is cut off and throws out front to Lazowski. Fakes the three and drives the lane on Clark, who blocked it from behind. Lazowski got it back to Mangan. Mangan now will reset between the circles to Matt Penzino, the lone junior among the 10 starters on the floor for both sides. Lazowski throws it off the backboard, and Danville controls. Mangan was wide open underneath if Lazowski had been able to get it to him. Now Travis Schofield, one of the tri-captains that start for Danville. Keon Clark with the fadeaway for the Vikings. First 2 points, the Vikings from Danville, that is.
They doubled down on Keon Clark, but he has such a height advantage. He just jumped over everybody for the little turnaround jump shot. Keon
shoots about 58% from the field. Now an 18-footer right of the key. No, they say it was a 3 for Dan Leah, who has more three-pointers than any other Fremd Viking. That's his 48th of the season.
Well, Fremd's shooting a red-hot 75%.
And now they missed the lob inside to Keon Clark. Fremd on the push again. Spinning in the lane is McGrath. Now Leah backs it out left of the circle. An 8-2 Fremd lead. Here's a shot blocked by Keon Clark. Now they throw ahead. This will be interesting.
Oh, nice
2 on
pass.
2. The lob, and Clark dunks it.
Nice pass by Keon Clark. Wasn't comfortable with the dribble. Gave the ball up, received it back for the nice slam dunk.
So an 8-4 Fremd lead this trip. 4.5 minutes remaining first quarter. Lazowski.
Oh, nice cut, Brian.
Down the lane, and Steve McGrath missed the jumper. Might have been thinking about Keon Clark, who was coming fast behind him.
Well, every shot that he doesn't block, he seems to alter if you're down low.
Now DeMarco Wright missing a 3. Pulling down the rebound is Lasowski. Well, it looks like Fremd wants to run if possible in the early going. Anzino at the controls, top of the circle. Pass tipped, but it gets to Lazowski. Lazowski, backdoor lob to Mangan. Comes inside against Wright. Missed the shot, but a foul called on DeMarco Wright. And 2 free throws coming for Mike Mangan.
Well, nice cut by Mike Mangan going for the backdoor lob. They didn't quite get the ball up as high as you would want it for a slam dunk lob, but the play works nevertheless because he's now at the line to shoot 2.
Mike Mangan has attempted and made more free throws than any other Fremd Viking, though he shoots 63% from the line. And boy, when's the last time you saw that?
And now everybody wants Keon Clark to go get it.
He barely had to get off the floor. Nice to have big guys around, isn't it?
Oh, man.
Now, of course, the Fremd Vikings want the free throw to count.
No.
Danville saying correctly that it should not. Mangan misses them both, and Keon Clark clears the rebound.
Nice soft touch.
So Fremd has doubled the score so far on Danville, leading 8-4. David Dixon. Right, banked it too hard, but it's tipped up and in by Antatius Clark. He's the Clark on this team that doesn't get much notoriety. 8-6 now in favor of Fremd. 3:15 and the clock moving first quarter. Ryan Wheeler, Kenny McReynolds, third place game for the boys AA state championship for 1992-93. Wazowski.
Now you have Clark away from the basket. Now you have to get somebody to go back door when they bring Keon Clark out.
This Fremd team, Mo Tharp will tell you, they do not have a true center.
See, now cut slash right in. Good play. Great.
And that'll count as well for Steve McGrath with the foul to boot and a three-point opportunity for the Fremd Vikings.
See, what happens is Lazowski draws Keon Clark away from the bucket. So when you're a big 7-footer, see how far out he is? Then a nice bounce pass and a nice curl going in by Steve McGrath to the hoop and the 2 points.
Timeout called early by Danville. 2:53 remaining first quarter. It's Fremd Palatine 10 and Danville 6, although no, apparently there is some discussion as to whether or not there was a timeout. It looked like Danville wanted to call one, but if they did not, then there will have to be a free throw before we can have an official's timeout. So both teams are being called back out onto the floor, and McGrath will be at the line looking for a three-point play. That foul on Antatius Clark, his first, and 3 early team fouls for Danville. Now we have an official's timeout. McGrath has 3. A good start for Mo Tharp's crew. 11-6. Fremd leading Danville. And one of your network sponsors is Country Companies Insurance. Kenny, how about our team comparisons? Looks like an even matchup.
Yeah, it really does. Field goal, 3-point free throws. Fremd, the Vikings of Danville, with the rebounding, the size, and the quickness, I think, in the backcourt.
2:53 remaining first quarter.
Hey, Tommy. Thomas Hamilton. Boy, what a game he had. The second semifinal today.
King will play Rockford Guilford for the championship a little later on. Fremd with another steal. McGrath drives the lane, missed the jumper, but Leah follows it up. He missed it inside. Now the ball tipped out of bounds, and Fremd will keep it. I'll tell you, Kenny, Fremd had a couple of extra hours of rest since they played 2 games ago. Danville playing in the most recent contest today, and for whatever reason, Fremd definitely looks fresher in the early going.
Danville really looks slow. They look a step or two slow, but they just played somewhat 3 hours ago against Martin Luther King, and if that won't wear you down, nothing will.
Yeah, there's some teams that have taken days to recover from playing King. Schofield misses a jumper. They outlet again, and down the floor, McGrath is fouled before he could go up for a shot. Well, the game plan seems simple. Fremd is looking to run at every opportunity.
Yeah, every opportunity, Palatine Fremd. I think they know that they have quicker legs so far.
Our game notes are brought to you by Classic Pinnacle and Assure 2. That's DuPont. What makes them better is you. So 3 straight appearances now for Danville in the Sweet 16, but it's been 22 years since they have placed in this tournament. As for Fremd, this will be a guarantee of their highest finish ever in the state tournament, and they have come a long way from their 7-19 record of 2 years ago.
Nice
the inbounds pass, Lazowski missed it as, again, Keon Clark, his presence made Lazowski throw it up a little short. 11-6, Palatine still with the 5-point advantage under 2 minutes now for the first quarter. Marco Wright with 2 men around him puts in his first 2 points.
Nice strong move by Wright. Nice strong step through on that double team.
So despite the slow start for Danville, they trail by only 3. Fremd is not a high scoring club, averaging about 61 points a contest. But they'll put the points on the board with 3-pointers like that one. Lasowski now with his second 3-pointer of the quarter, the 3rd for Fremd.
Well, you know what that would do now? That would really draw Keon Clark away from the basket on the defensive end because Lazowski's hitting the 3-point play.
Sherron Watson has checked in along with Demetrius Perryman, a couple of players off the Danville bench. And DeMarco Wright out front missing a 3. Despite the size advantage, Danville getting only 1 shot at the offensive end.
Oh, he walked.
He sure did. I thought he walked twice, but Dan Lea is called for the violation with 51.1 seconds remaining, first quarter, and it's been all Fremd. They led 5-0. Their lead is 14-8 now. David Dixon, one of the tri-captains for Danville. Demetrius Perryman looks inside to Keon Clark. They lob it inside, and it's tipped away and out of bounds by Mangan as they had Keon Clark covered from front to back.
Yeah, they made a Keon Clark sandwich that time.
35 seconds remaining in the quarter. Keon Clark had it tipped away, loose, got it back in the lane. His reload shot is short, and Mangan controls for Fremd. Ahead to Lasowski, and he traveled with the ball. Boy, if he had put it down just once, he would have had the easy layup.
So all he needed was to put it down once. They're going so fast, Brian. I think they're going faster than they're used to going because all he needed to do was put it down once. In the NBA, that's a bucket, but not in high school.
So now it will be last shot time for the Danville Vikings. Dixon to Perryman. The return to Dixon.
Oh, nice double screen.
DeMarco Wright misses the 3. Oh, a strong tip attempt by Teron Watson comes up short, and we have played 1 quarter of the boys Class AA 3rd place game here in Champaign-Urbana. And Fremd Palatine leading Danville 14-8, and will return after these local messages. Well, the Country Company's King of the Hill 3-point showdown will follow this game immediately with Doug Scott carrying the Class A banner from Wheaton Christian, and Tim Page of Geneva, the champ in Class AA. Also after this contest, the slam dunk affair with Tyrone Nesby from Carroll. And the Fremd fans are out en masse here for this third place contest. And the Fremd Vikings with a pretty good first quarter. 14-8 their advantage as we begin quarter number 2. Leia down low. Keon Clark just stood his ground and blocked that shot easily.
You need a little head fake with Keon Clark. That's his second block of the evening.
Danville with a 31% first quarter from the field. Keon Clark turnaround jumper and a foul going to be called. You would think that he could get that shot away almost any time he wants.
Yeah, if they get him the basketball, he should be able to get that shot away. You see the height advantage he has. Nice turnaround jump shot, and he's hit on the arm by Mangan.
That's the first foul of the ball game on Fremd. It goes against Mike Mangan. Keon Clark, not a good foul shooter at 37% on the year. We'll have one more coming.
But see, he needs to bend his knees and get a better follow through. He really shoots it stiff. That's a lot better.
And the result is much better as well for Danville. Keon Clark with 5 of their first 9 points, and it's a 5-point Fremd lead this trip. Mangan again bringing Keon Clark with him. Lob inside of Lisowski. You missed the layup. That was an easy chance. And Keon Clark was able to grab the rebound, and Lisowski mad at himself for not putting that one down.
Oh, great pass back out by Keon Clark.
Antatius Clark misses the baseline jumper. The fight for the rebound. Antatius has it again. In the lane, his 10-footer is perfect.
See, Keon could have taken that shot, but he knew he was double teamed, so he just kicked it right back out.
Antatius Clark with a couple of field goals now. Mangan thought about going one-on-one and then smartened up as he saw the imposing Keon Clark waiting for him. Danville has never led. Minute and a half gone, second quarter. Mangan looks to Lisowski. Now drives the lane right around Keon Clark for the layup.
Boy, Mangan showing a nice first step, gets around the big 7-footer.
I think Keon might have been a bit surprised that he even attempted it. Mangan with 4, 16-11 Fremd. Dixon will try a 3 left baseline. Short again. Ball tipped down low though. Missing the layup attempt is Perryman, and a foul going to be called before he could go up for a second try. One of the rare times we've seen Danville get on those offensive backboards.
Yeah, they really look a step slower tonight than they did in the semifinal this afternoon.
Lisowski with his first foul. Fremd now with 2. And Demetrius Perryman with 2 free throws coming. He scored 4 points against King after going scoreless against Glenbrook North. Travis Schofield returns for Danville. David Dixon, his backcourt partner, sits down. Perryman trying to make it a 4-point contest. His first point. 2 minutes gone, second quarter. 16-12 Fremd. McGrath trying to drive the lane, and a foul going to be called. That already 4 team fouls on Danville. Turhan Watson whistled for that one. It's his first.
Brian, look at the Danville shooting. Only 5 out of 17. That's 29%.
They've had 2 more field goal attempts than Fremd has had to this point. Lisowski, who's already hit a couple of threes. Traveling called on Andre Anthony. And he went for the head fake, looking to get Keon Clark off his feet a little bit, but instead shuffled his own feet.
Again, there's Keon Clark causing the turnover. If he doesn't block a shot, boy, how many has he altered?
Schofield down low to Perryman, missed the chance, and Mangan clears the rebound to Lisowski. Lisowski through the lane. Nice fake, but he missed the shot underneath, and a foul going to be called on Lisowski, who really is upset at himself. He has 6 points, but he could probably have 10 or 12 if he had hit a few layups underneath.
Well, you see, that's the old frustration foul. Watch Lisowski with a nice little spin move, gets across the timeline. Now watch the fake right here. Hey, oh, hey. Goes up, but the ball just won't go. Now watch Wazowski. He'll reach in and hit Keon Clark on the arm.
Keith Lasowski takes a seat after picking up his second foul. Fremd with 3 now as a team. 5:15 and the clock moving here, second quarter. 16-12 Fremd. Backdoor lob to Keon Clark, and we've seen that a few times in this tournament. A perfect pass from Antatius Clark to Keon Clark. No relation.
A perfect pass from the Clark guys, but again, you need a perfect screen. Then he curls around that pick and goes up and slams it down.
7 now for Keon Clark. This is the closest Danville has been since the opening bell. And now a chance to tie. Antatius Clark down low to right, and we are deadlocked at 16. And timeout called by Fremd as Danville has finally awoken here early in the second quarter. 4:36 remaining in the half. Fremd and Danville are tied at 16. And we return after this message from one of your network sponsors, Toyota. Gene Gorley is in his 16th year as head coach at Danville, and his wife and father are here to root on the Danville Vikings, who are on an 8-2 run right now.
Well, you say Dad looks really intense there, huh? Chewing that gum. I'm sure he's coaching right there from the stands.
So Fremd, after using their first of 4 timeouts, with the basketball back. And for the first time tonight, they are back at square one after leading by as many as 6 points on a couple of occasions in the first quarter. Mangan again trying to bring Keon Clark away from the hoop. Now a 3-point try out front, and missing that one was Chris Laughlin, but he tracks down the rebound. 4 minutes remaining first half. Mangan moves around Clark left baseline and laid it in. Boy, once Mangan has been able to get around Keon Clark, the help has not been there from the rest of the Danville defenders.
You're right, and see, Keon Clark has been playing defense straight up, Brian, instead of getting down a little bit so he can go either way and hit the lob.
That time misfiring was Antatius Clark, as Schofield might have thrown that a little bit behind him on the lob try. 18-16, Fremd by 2 and with the basketball. Mangan thought about the 18-footer. I think he has Clark confused now as to whether he's going to try an outside shot or maybe drive to the basket.
That's exactly what you want to do, is confuse the big 7-footer.
Here's a pass. Panzino was looking for Mangan, but Mangan wasn't looking for the ball.
Mo's not too happy. See, now watch the bullet pass. Whoops. I think he was passing that to Joe Passion.
Passion Joe is everywhere here in this assembly hall. 3 minutes remaining first half. Pass inside, tipped away by McGrath. And another turnover for Danville. Oh, Panzino with a brilliant pass, this time to McGrath for the layup. Now Panzino might have turned it over the last time down the floor, but he gets a brilliant assist that time. McGrath with 5, and back to a 4-point Fremd lead as they score 4 in a row. Keon Clark, and a foul going to be called. Mangan holding him from behind. And again, there seem to be periods of the game where Danville forgets to throw the ball inside to Clark offensively.
Yeah, you know, they really aren't looking for Keon Clark, and he has such a height advantage over everybody on Palatine Fremd that you would think that they would just go down to the big guy down low.
Teron Watson sits down for Danville, and in the Fremd lineup for the first time is Paul Wolf, who is the tallest player on this Fremd team at 6'7". Normally doesn't play too much, though, but against a imposing figure like Keon Clark, he figures to get some work tonight. Bank shot by DeMarco right of the circle, and he has 6. 20-18 Fremd. Spencer Palmer is also checked in for the first time for Fremd. Mo Tharp will use a little bit more of his bench normally than Gene Gorley will for Danville.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if both coaches substituted a lot tonight, because these guys have already played a game today.
Chris Laughlin saw an opening along the right baseline but traveled before he could get there. So we've seen some of the turnovers that maybe come from being a little mentally tired, and that's one of them there. Under 2 minutes remaining first half. Fremd has scored 6 points in the quarter, but they lead 20-18. Schofield, the point guard for this Danville club. Wright is their leading scorer. Schofield missed a nice tip attempt. And Paul Wolf clears the rebound. Laughlin lobs to Panzino. Not much of a scorer, but an excellent playmaker. Wolf fakes the three, and Spencer Palmer has it. 1:20 and the clock running. Laughlin with a three out front short. And going high for the rebound is Schofield.
Boy, Schofield really got up.
Just 5'11", but he certainly was up there. We near the 1 minute mark for the first half, and Danville looks for the tie. They have never led. DeMarco Wright. Dixon wasn't looking at the basket. Schofield trying to get the ball inside to Clark. Schofield triple team to the lane. His shot was blocked, but a foul call, and Schofield will have a couple of foul opportunities.
Boy, Schofield is really a scrappy, aggressive type of guy, you know. Just like the earlier games this afternoon, he's not afraid to go into the land of the Giants.
Spencer Palmer with his first foul for Fremd. And they have passed Danville in team fouls now. 5 on Fremd, 4 on Danville. And Schofield, a 63% free throw shooter, looking to get in the scorebook for the first time tonight, and he does. Has not had a good shooting couple of ball games here downstate. Just 1 of 9 from three-point range. He knocks down both free throws, and we're tied at 20. It's our second tie of this quarter. Now let's see about maybe a last shot for Fremd with under 40 seconds. Palmer right in front of the Danville bench. Panzino averages just under 3 assists a game. Comes foul line. Wolf brings it back out with 15 seconds. Wolf threw it to an open spot, and Palmer was able to track it down, fortunately for Fremd. 8 seconds now. McGrath almost lost it. Now picks it up. Oh, Clark rejected it. McGrath trying to keep it alive. Throws up a wild shot and went in.
Well, at first you don't succeed. Try again.
Not exactly the way you draw it up, but Steve McGrath has 7 points to lead all Fremd Vikings scorers. And at the intermission, Fremd will enjoy a 2-point lead of 22-20 over Danville. Their advantage was 6 at the intermission, 14-8, and Danville fighting back in the second quarter. But it's Fremd that will have the 2-point lead at the intermission, 22-20, and really a back-and-forth contest through much of that second quarter. Danville was able to achieve a couple of ties. And before we head to our halftime activities, let's head over to Joe Passion, who's standing by with Gene Gorley.
Well, Coach, it looked like a game that might get away from you, but you brought it right back into contention here by the break.
Well, we certainly got off to a slow start, and I was very concerned because Fremd came out ready to play, and our kids were a little slow and lackadaisical, and you're right, we got back into it there and did a little bit better job in the second quarter, run some offense.
All right, Coach, hope it comes right back the second half. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All right, Gene Gorley and his ball club just down by a deuce here at the break. And we'll be back with our boys Class AA consolation game here at halftime. It's Fremd leading over Danville by 2. We'll be back after this break from one of our network sponsors, the Car X-Man.
Halftime of the boys Class AA third place contest. And the Palatine Fremd Vikings leading the Vikings of Danville by a score of 22-20. Ryan Wheeler back here with the very hard-working Kenny McReynolds. Your 7th game, and you're still smiling.
Well, I have one more to do, so we just love doing it. And, of course, our buddy Jim O'Boy is nice enough to have us down here. And we've seen a lot of great basketball. Danville seems to be a step slow, I think. Of course, they're game earlier today didn't end until, what, maybe 3 o'clock. So they had to come back 3.5 hours later. They seemed to be just a step slow. But again, Palatine Fremd with a great game plan. They're just flying down court.
Yeah, I think we saw Fremd, especially in that first quarter, when they had the 14-8 advantage after one, really have the benefit of some fast break opportunities. And were it not for some missed layups inside, they probably would have enjoyed even more than that 6-point lead. But Danville coming back a bit in the second quarter.
Yeah, Danville came back in the second quarter. All they really have to do is get the ball to Keon Clark. I mean, he's 7 feet tall. He has long arms. Nobody on Palatine can guard him. They have to do a better job getting the ball to Keon Clark.
Well, Keon Clark had 7 points to lead Danville in scoring in the opening half. And for Palatine Fremd, their top scorer was Steve McGrath, also with 7. Joe Passion will continue our halftime activities after these local messages.
Welcome back live here to Assembly Hall as the Fremd Vikings leading the Danville Vikings by 2 at the break, 22-20 of our Consolation Boys Class AA basketball game here at the home of the America's original March Madness. And with me is Levi Cobb, who made some memorable moments here in March Madness. We have some video, Levi, we're going to look at of one of your greatest assists maybe ever. We go back to 1976, Morgan Park against West Aurora. It was the final seconds of the game, and as we look at the video here, you'll see how things are set up for a dramatic finish. 4 seconds left, down by 1. Morgan Park gets the ball, and the turnover, and that last second shot by Morgan Park wins the championship over West Aurora. Levi Cobb was a big part of that. Laird Shot got the winning bucket, but that had to be the most memorable moment of your high school career.
That was one of the greatest moments of my high school career. I came here and played ball at the University of Illinois. I had a lot of terrific moments after that. And I can still remember that same shot that Larry took about out here, about 5 feet. I guess today would have been a 3-pointer.
Right. In fact, I remember, or I'm at least told to remember, you did a same type of play against Magic Johnson's Michigan State Spartan team when you played for the Illini in almost the same spot here on this floor.
That's right, just the other side of the floor. Late in the game, tipped the ball at Eddie Johnson. Eddie Johnson squared up and nailed a big shot, and we ended up beating Magic Johnson his sophomore year here and got rated that year.
Real quickly, I know you're very busy now with Fundamental Inc., involved with special ed and alternative system school programs. Tell us quickly about that.
The special education system is a network set up for behavior disorder kids, special education kids, and what we try to do is motivate them to continue their education through sports. And that's how I got involved, through several basketball clinics and guest speakers, and I just try to share with some of the kids there some of our experiences that I've been through, and try to uplift them to make them do some positive things with their lives.
Now, quickly, you've got those state finals coming up in Arlington Heights, I believe.
Arlington Heights at Forest View Educational Center. We got about 36 teams. Bob Love will be there Sunday passing out the championship award, and it should be a great event.
All right, and that date is?
The 27th and 28th this month.
Great, that'll be worth seeing. Great to see you again, Levi.
Thanks a lot.
One of the guys that was on the court with Levi, who doesn't like to remember that moment we saw on video a few moments ago, is sitting here with WKKD Radio. Joe Michaels played on that West Aurora team, is broadcasting for KKD in Aurora. For real money, though, he picks up a few $100 a year as a dentist in Aurora. That's why he's got that clean smile. I think, though, Levi brought away the cleanest smile from that game. Levi, thanks so much. One of the other great magical March Madness moments happened the very first year, 30 years ago, when they first started the IHSA basketball tournament in the Assembly Hall floor. And it was Carver High School that year that was the big hero. Tom Kelly has the call.
They have the basketball. They have the lead of 52-51. 15 seconds remain. And we should know very shortly who will be state champion for 63. Pass into Williams. Tries to slap it away. The ball is stolen by Smedley. He shoots. He scores. 7 seconds. Timeout, Centralia.
Tony Smedley's last second shot 30 years ago. The very first. high school basketball final tournament here at Assembly Hall. And we'll be back for the 31st Assembly Hall gathering of this high school final. We'll be back for the consolation second half right after these local messages.
(22-20). The Vikings of Fremd are leading the Vikings of Danville as we wind down toward the end of halftime here. And Kenny, we said with the team comparisons at the start of this contest that it looked like it would be an even game, and boy, it has been through one half.
Yeah, it really has been. We take a look at the statistics right there. Look, neither team shooting very well in the 30s. Of course, not many free throws. Rebounding goes to Danville. And let's go down to Joe Passion.
All right, with Mo Tharp real quickly. Mo, you come out here in the second half, it's still a tight ball game.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You know, I felt really if we would have taken the opportunity with the opportunity we had with the offensive end of the floor, making our layups maybe and not traveling so much, we would be ahead maybe 10 points now. I thought our kids really did a great job on defense. We kind of stopped their inside game. So what we've got to do is really come out and attack them on offense, go to the basket hard.
All right, go coach that team, Coach.
Thanks a lot.
All right, Mo Tharp, and back over to center court to Kenny and over to Brian.
Third quarter underway here at the Assembly Hall. Brian Wheeler and Kenny McReynolds, 22-20. Fremd leading, but Danville with a steal. Antatius Clark throwing ahead now to Dixon. Dixon tried to feed inside to Keon Clark, who I think he felt was going to keep running, but Keon had pulled up at the foul line. And another turnover, so a sloppy start to this third quarter. David Dixon now on the walk for Danville. He did not score in the opening half. He averages normally about 7 a game. Schofield to Dixon. Throwing down low to right. High arch jumper, and we're tied at 22.
Well, you called that one right, Brian, when you said high arcing jumper. You thought that one would bring rain.
DeMarco right now the game's leading scorer with 8.
Oh, nice pass.
Boy, it sure was. Mike Mangan getting the basket, but Dan Leah making it possible with the assist.
Yeah, he went right around Keon Clark, passed around Clark.
Mangan now with 8, and Fremd with the lead back at 24-22. Schofield to right. Tried to throw inside to Dixon, and Leah bothered Dixon just enough as he lost the ball out of bounds, and Gene Gorley his head in his hands, and now they threw it ahead to Mangan, who wasn't looking for it, but fortunately for Fremd, the ball caromed off Keon Clark's head and out of bounds, as he was the most surprised guy in the building running down the floor, turning around and seeing the ball coming at him.
Yeah, I think that pass caught everybody by surprise. I'm tempted to say that's what you call using your head, but I won't say it.
Thank you for not saying it. And now McGrath driving the lane. Tried to throw a pass to Leah. And it's stolen away by Antatius Clark, as both teams are turning the ball over with regularity here in the first 2.5 minutes of the third quarter. Schofield right sizes up the jumper, and Mangum with the flat-footed rebound.
Yeah, but you know, he had great positioning. Keon Clark couldn't get around him and couldn't get up because Mangan had a perfect and what I call outstanding position.
Wasowski, who had 2 of the 3 three-pointers for Fremd in the opening quarter. That helped them get their 6-point lead after 1. Fremd a little bit more deliberate here. Wasowski looking inside to Mangum. Now right baseline, he's cut off by Clark. Needs help. Bounces to Leah. Leah threw a pass, and Mangum wasn't expecting it, but somehow Lazowski got to it. We've seen a lot of passes going to unexpected teammates tonight. Foul called inside. Mangum put the basket in, but the foul called before the shot.
Nice lob to Mangan. Now he brings the ball back down and hit on the arm. And the whistle blows. Antatius Clark with the foul.
Clark picking up his second foul. We have an official's timeout. 4:45 remaining third quarter. Fremd 24, Danville 22. One of your network sponsors is Toyota. Got a lot to show you after the conclusion of this contest. The Country Company's King of the Hill three-point showdown. The Class A champ, Doug Scott from Wheaton Christian. The Class AA title holder, Tim Page from Geneva. And that will be followed by the slam dunk contest. Tyrone Nesby of Cairo from Class A. Willie Franklin, the Class AA champ from Urbana. Fremd to inbound, leading 24-22. We've had 3 ties, but the Fremd Vikings have never trailed the Danville Vikings as of yet. Leah on the move to Panzino. Leah fakes the 3, and Panzino has it back. A lot of cutting in this Fremd offense. Fadeaway is missed by McGrath. Going to the floor hard was DeMarco Wright. No foul call, but Danville does have the basketball, looking for our 4th tie of this contest. Again, Keon Clark has not touched the ball in quite a while. He has it now. 3 men around him, and it's tipped away, and Lazowski steals. Talk about drawing a crowd. Lazowski. Nice move by Mangan, but the shot is rejected right back to Mangan. Coming over to help out was Antatius Clark after Keon Clark was faked out of the gym initially. Mangum, one-on-one move in the lane. Missed the shot. Keon Clark with as strong a rebound as you're going to see. So again, Danville looks for the tie. 3:15 for the third quarter. Third place game of the boys Class AA state championship. Nice head fake by Antatius Clark. Couldn't get the jumper to fall though, and Lazowski clears another rebound. Leah through the lane, scoops to Mangum. Tried to head fake Clark, who wouldn't go for it, and Clark with the easy block. How many blocks we got him for?
That's his 6th. He had 6 last night. The record in the state tournament is 9, set by LaFonso Ellis in '88.
Schofield misses the 3. He continues his cold shooting from three-point range in this tournament. And Lazowski has another rebound. Driving through the lane, had it tipped away, but right to Dan Leah. Leah now with 5, the second leading scorer for this Fremd Viking club. 26-22 Fremd, with about 2:15 remaining third quarter.
Wow, look, 3 men. They just collapsed around Clark. And that should be an offensive foul on Clark because of the elbow.
Well, now there's some talking going on between Keon Clark and a couple of Fremd players. He looks very frustrated right now.
Here it is again. Now watch Keon Clark right there. That's the elbow, but the whistle does not go against Clark.
It's a key foul on Mike Mangan, his 3rd. Fremd's 1st here in the second half.
And Clark gets his first rest of the game.
Maybe just to settle him down, because as we said, it looked like he was getting very frustrated. Jarrell Robinson, number 13, has come in to the Danville lineup for the first time. So a much smaller Danville club out there now. We have not had much offense here with under 2 minutes remaining third quarter. But trying to change that is Antatius Clark with his 3rd field goal, and it's 26-24 Fremd.
Basket by number 20, Antatius Clark.
Steve McGrath, who had 7 first-half points. Manzino, nice move by Mangan to get away from Turhan Watson to score.
And what he did, he felt his man with his arms, and he found out where his defensive man was. Then he just fell off of him and went for the pass and a layup.
That's a tricky move because obviously you have to make sure you don't get called for the push-off when you're making the move. 10 now for Mangan. 3-point try is missed by DeMarco Wright. He cannot get untracked offensively. Has 8 points, but normally averages about 18. Panzino thought he might try a rare 3, but he backs it out to Mangan. Under a minute remaining third quarter, and a 4-point Fremd lead. Their advantage was 2 at the intermission. Leah, 3 on the way, missed it, but the follow is also missed by McGrath as, again, Fremd has missed a handful of layup attempts in this game.
They make their layups. This is a 10-12 point game.
Scoop shot missed in the lane by Watson, got it back for another try, and now he'll have 2 free throws. Teron Watson, averaging about 5 per game for Danville, looking to get in the scorebook for the first time tonight.
That's his first, second off front.
A sleepy third quarter here at the Assembly Hall as Leah picks up his first, and returning to the Fremd lineup is Andre Anthony, 6-foot senior. Look at where Teron Watson is lining up to take this free throw. He's an 86% foul shooter, but he's almost out of the arc. Way over to the left side. Didn't help him that time. But you know, there's no one right way to do things.
No, he has, what, 15 feet? 5 feet?
Well, he missed them both, despite being an 80+% free throw shooter. And so it's still a 4-point lead for Fremd, 28-24, 20 seconds remaining third quarter. Last shot time for the Fremd Vikings. Chris Laughlin, 5 seconds. Manzino has to try the shot and missed it. And we have played 3 quarters. Here at the Assembly Hall, the Class AA Boys Consolation Contest. And the Vikings of Fremd lead the Vikings of Danville 28-24. Fourth quarter action when we return after these local messages. Our game summary is brought to you by Toyota. I love what you do for me, Toyota. And if offense is what does it for you, we didn't have much of it in the third quarter, and we haven't had much of it in this entire game. Neither team shooting well, Kenny.
Yeah, we're not going to break any records for field goal shooting, but, you know, you look at the scoreboard, it's still just a 4-point game.
Third place trophy at stake. 1 quarter remaining. Keon Clark starts it out on the Danville bench. Clark had 7 first-half points for Danville, but did not score in that third quarter. Danville had only 4 points. They were outscored 6-4 in 8 minutes of action. Here's Anthony. Nice head fake to draw the foul. He'll have 2 free throws.
Well, Anthony coming in off the bench, nice head fake, gets his man up in the air. And see, Anthony hasn't played much today, but that's a really nice head fake to get Dixon up in the air.
David Dixon picks up the foul. His 3rd of the game and the 2nd on Danville in this half. And Anthony, pretty good foul shooter at 77%. Cannot convert on the first, and Keon Clark is back in for Danville.
You know, Keon's dad is also 7 feet tall, and everybody talks about how thin Keon is, but I understand his dad is really a nice size, so they feel Keon will fill out. You have to remember, he's only 17 years old.
Listed officially at 7 feet 200 pounds. Anthony has his first point with the 2nd free throw, and it's a 5-point Palatine lead at 29-24. Now they lob inside to Clark. Oh, he lost the ball on the way up.
Yeah, on the way up.
Well, the epitome of the frustration that he's had throughout this entire game, really.
Except on the defensive end, where he's blocked 6 shots.
Lazowski drives right side, missed the shot. Strong rebound by Teron Watson. Dixon, who has not scored tonight. In fact, the starting backcourt for Danville has 2 points between them. Normally, they average just under 19. Watson in the lane. Left-handed scoop, left it short. Rebound to the floor. Fremd controlling, but the outlet stolen by Dixon. Now Dixon weaves through the lane. Missed it. Clark follows.
Nice move to the hoop by Keon Clark. Let's see, you know what he did? He tripped on his own foot. He tripped. Oh, I thought he was going to come back and get that blocked shot. He ran down court looking to block that shot, but he trips. Let's see it again. You see, no one's around Clark. He trips. Basket count and a foul.
So Andre Anthony will have a chance at a three-point play. Keon Clark with his second. Danville with another team foul, their third. Anthony just hit 1 of 2 from the foul line. And Fremd has matched their biggest lead of 6, 32-26. Question now, can Danville, looking tired already, come back from this deficit in the final 6 minutes? Normally 6 points wouldn't be much, but in a game like this, it seems like a mountain. Wright is triple team. Throws inside of the bank shot for Demetrius Perryman.
Well, look how fast Palatine Fremd gets down the court.
3 now for Perryman. 32-28. Miss steal by Clark in the lane. Keon Clark blocked it, and
well, it's number 7.
Tipped out of bounds. Must be nice to have that presence where you really don't even have to leap to be able to get the block shot.
He just stands there, never comes off the ground, and just those long arms knocks the ball out of bounds. He's 2 away from tying the state record.
Anthony had it blocked by Clark. Then Anthony trying to throw it inside and bringing it back outside is McGrath very smartly. Miss steal by Antatius Clark, who says, yep, I did, as Anthony tried to catch the ball along the left baseline.
Well, the official score, we have the screen right in front of us. They're not giving Keon Clark credit for a block, Brian, as the ball goes out of bounds and just a little too much arm by Antatius Clark. I thought he blocked it, though. But we have the official screen right in front of us, and they're not giving him the 8th block.
14 fouls now on Danville. 5:15 remaining in the game. 32-28 Fremd. Mangan fades over Keon Clark, missed it. Rebound by Anthony, and the follow.
Nice follow by Anthony.
Big fourth quarter for Anthony. Block shot by Mangan, but a foul call, and that's 4 fouls now on Mike Mangan with still 5:01 remaining. The leading scorer for Fremd might have to play defense with his hands in his pockets.
Yeah, you know, he's still leading scorer. He has 12 points and 7 rebounds. I don't know if you can afford to have him out of the game right now as we watch Anthony's follow. Just great anticipation going to the hoop and the offensive boards by Anthony.
Spencer Palmer is back in for Mangan. And Antatius Clark, a 71% foul shooter with 2 free throws coming, and brings the first one home for his 7th point. As a team, Danville shoots 67% from the free throw line. Antatius Clark hits the second as well. 34-30 in favor of Fremd with under 5 minutes remaining, fourth quarter. Ryan Wheeler and Kenny Reynolds from Assembly Hall. Kenny and Dan Roan will have the championship game to follow immediately after our between-game festivities. In the lane, shot blocked by Keon Clark. I think they're going to have to give him credit for that one as McGrath tried to drive the lane. Now Dixon to Wright, who has only 8 points. Now in the lane, he heard me. DeMarco Wright with 10, and Danville trying to put on a rally. They trail by only 2. They have never led. By our count, 3 ties in the contest. Anthony missed the jumper. Fight for the rebound, and Keon Clark brings it down for Danville. They look for the tie this trip. All of a sudden, the pace and intensity picking up here with 4 minutes left.
Well, you only have 4 minutes to go in your season, Brian. You know they want to pick it up now.
3-point try is missed. Keon Clark's follow is missed. Tipped into the corner, and Wright tracks it down. Weaves his way threw up the air ball, but Clark has tied the game.
Boy, that rest on the bench has really done a world of good for Keon Clark.
Substitutions to follow this official's timeout. 3:41 remaining, fourth quarter, and all of a sudden, we've got a ball game again. Fremd and Danville tied at 34. One of your network sponsors is Country Companies Insurance. Finals coming up of the Country Companies King of the Hill three-point showdown immediately following the conclusion of our game. Doug Scott of Wheaton Christian will defend the Class A banner against Tim Page from Class AA. And then the slam dunk contest, Tyrone Nesby of Class A. And he is warming up right now. 3:41 remaining in this contest. So before we see Tyrone Nesby do his thing, third place is still to be decided, and an 8-2 run for Danville right now. And we are deadlocked at 34. Danville has never led, but this is our fourth tie. Mangan, the leading scorer for Fremd, not only on the season, but here tonight with 10. Anthony has all the points for Fremd in this quarter. McGrath looks inside. Fremd being patient as we are nearing the 3-minute mark for the contest. Lazowski can't penetrate right baseline. Anthony fades. He has 8 points in the quarter. He averages only 4.5 per game.
Well, that's what you call your great sixth man off the bench. He knows, this is the last game of the season. You better dig down deep now, Brian, to give it everything you have.
And the last game of his career. 5 Danville senior starters, 4 senior starters for Fremd, and a nice move by Antatius Clark, who now has 10. We're deadlocked again at 36. Now a turnover as Anthony couldn't handle the pass. And Danville looks for their first lead of the night with 2:20 to play. And I think Gene Gorley is going to make sure that his club gets a good shot here. He will use his first of 4 available timeouts, each club with 3 remaining. 2:20 remaining, fourth quarter of the third place game. And we're tied at 36. One of your network sponsors is Toyota. 2:20 remaining, fourth quarter, and we haven't decided a thing. Antatius Clark scoring the last basket for Danville, and they will have the basketball. They have not led all night. Well, what a time to get their first lead if they could score here. Each team has used a timeout. The possession arrow right now is favoring Danville should there be a held ball. Travis Schofield to David Dixon. They look to Keon Clark, and why not?
There it is. Oh, no, too late.
Danville spreading the floor and hoping that Clark can maneuver against the Fremd defenders, and they're sagging back in to help out. Mangan on the floor right now for Fremd with 4 fouls.
You don't have it there, bad pass.
But Wright is able to get it, and the first lead of the night for Danville. DeMarco Wright with 12. Now let's see if Fremd can come from behind. They haven't had to all night. And Zeno threw it to an open spot. McGrath tracked it down in front of the Fremd bench. 1:20 left. McGrath to Mangan. And Zeno throws it back into Mangan. Now Lazowski, who hit a couple of threes in the opening quarter, but hasn't scored since then. Pass tipped away. It's out of bounds to Danville on the turnover. So 2 consecutive turnovers on the last 2 offensive trips for Fremd.
You have exactly 1 minute to go. Do you run 4 corners and stall it out? I think I would.
Might not be a bad strategy. Fremd has only 3 team fouls, so if they're going to put Danville on the line, they're going to have to foul quite a few times here.
Double team. Oh, bad pass.
Wright is able to track it down, threw it up for grabs, tipped away. Anthony steals. Mangan ahead to Panzino, drives the lane, missed the layup. And Danville has the rebound. They survived a big-time scare there.
They're going to foul him right away.
Schofield weaving through traffic.
What are they waiting for? Foul them.
20 seconds. And Wright is fouled on the pass-off. But again, that is only Fremd's 4th team foul. And Zeno had a chance moments ago to tie the game, but couldn't get it done.
Well, you know, just go right in and, boy, I tell you, just go in and take the foul. He would have been fouled. Here it is again now. See, Brian, looked like he's trying to get around the man. Looked like he's trying to avoid Travis Schofield. Hey, go in. Let Schofield foul you.
And you know, in that situation, you're going to get the benefit of that call most of the time. Danville called the timeout, and let's check in on the huddle.
Trying to guide the inbounds and don't get caught so we get a layup. But we don't want to give them a layup and block. Switch in the screens. Every screen, we make a switch. Every what?
Okay, you guys hear that?
Every screen, we go switch.
5-second call.
Now, if they catch it in, so they got time to all, then we got to pause and get the stop. Okay? Come on, guys. Now, we go to the basket hard if we're stealing. Let's go. Come on. We got time. Let's go. On 3. 1, 2, 3, boys.
Hey, if we can't get it in, call something available.
Hey, Travis, we had trouble with that call.
Yeah.
Come on now, let's go. Yeah, hard to the ball now.
Well, you don't see that much anymore, Kenny. Gene Gorley diagramming a play with chalk on the floor. Everybody's got these fancy boards now. Gene Gorley.
The old-fashioned way.
That's right. He's been around for a while, and obviously it's worked for him, so why change? Now Fremd must foul if they cannot get a steal.
Foul him right there.
Clark is fouled by Lazowski. A hard foul there. That's 4 fouls on Keith Lazowski, but more importantly, only 5 team fouls for Fremd with 14.6 seconds left. They have to foul twice more just to get Danville on the line.
So you foul right away. Make sure you're going for the basketball.
A lot of time had ticked off, though, before these last few fouls by Fremd. And Zeno picking up that foul, his first. So 16 fouls on Fremd with 13.5 seconds. And another quick foul will put Danville on the line. 2-point lead for Danville, 38-36.
Foul him.
DeMarco Wright, the best foul shooter Danville has. Gene Gorley has the man up there that he wants, an 87% shooter who has shot and made more free throws than any other Danville Viking. And he will be up there with 12.5 seconds remaining as Steve McGrath picked up his first foul for Fremd. Of course, one free throw, and Fremd can still tie the game with a 3. They wanted a time, didn't get it.
Timeout, but they waited too long. Wright already had the basketball in his hand. You have to call it before the official gives him the basketball. I like that haircut. He's 6'4" without the hair, 6'7" with it. I think you would look nice, Brian, in a do like that.
I've been to a few barbers that, if I hadn't watched them carefully, probably would have given me one like that. Timeout now called by Fremd. They get the timeout, but it's a little later than they initially wanted it. 12.5 seconds. We're going back to the huddles with Danville up by 3, 39-36, and both teams have 2 timeouts remaining. This copyrighted broadcast is presented for the entertainment and non-commercial use of our audience. Any reproduction or other use of this program without the written consent of Cost Broadcast Sales is strictly prohibited. Let's see what Gene Gorley is up to.
Okay, but don't foul him on the 3. All right, now if he makes it, 1-3-1. If he misses it, you're going to make it, Marco, okay? And when he makes it, hustle back and line, you're 1-3-1. Okay, now, if they go down and score. All right.
We're running a free throw break.
Get it up the floor, okay? If we can go to the basket.
Which side we gonna run it on?
Okay, and we call time. Right side.
Other side. All right.
If it's a 4-point lead and we can get a shoot, take it.
All right, left side. Free throw break, left side. Free throw break, left side.
Hey, if it's a 4-point lead and we can get a 2, let's take it. Let's go, guys.
1, 2, 3, push.
So a big free throw upcoming for DeMarco Wright, one of the senior tri-captains for Gene Gorley's crew, and like any good coach, he was putting the positive approach to Wright's second foul shot, saying you are going to make it, Marco.
Like they say, if it's a 4-point lead, just take the 2 because it's a 2-possession game anyway.
It is going to be a 4-point lead. Now they run their free throw break, and the pass tipped out of bounds. Danville will have possession unless the official pointed the wrong way, which apparently he did. I thought it looked like Fremd would have it back, but one official pointed toward Danville. Now the other official has corrected things, but Gene Gorley wants an explanation.
See, I think he just pointed the wrong way. .9 seconds left. Fremd must score in a hurry and call timeout. They trail by 4. You need a quick 2 and a timeout.
Leah with a 3, missed it. Lasowski had the rebound momentarily, and a foul going to be called. Mangan has just fouled out as Dixon pulled down the rebound with 4.8 seconds left.
And that could do it.
So Mike Mangan, the leading scorer for the Fremd Vikings, has just checked out with 10 points, and Gene Gorley, I think, feeling pretty good right now.
Yes, sir. That third-place trophy looks like it will be heading back to Danville.
For the first time in some 22 years, we might add, their second third-place finish ever. But nothing to be ashamed of for Mike Mangan and the Fremd Vikings, who, even with the loss, will have their highest finish ever in the state tournament. Now a host of substitutions as Mo Tharp has conceded this one with 4.8 seconds left.
But it's nice to give the guys on the bench a chance to step on the Assembly Hall floor, get a little taste of the action.
Tyler Elder, Andy Swenson, John Baker in, along with Nat Kreiser. One-and-one chance for David Dixon, who has not scored tonight until now. So the Danville Vikings, who didn't have a lead in this game until 2:20 remaining in the fourth quarter, but their timing was perfect, and it will earn them their third-place trophy as Keon Clark gets a nice hand as he comes out.
And he misses that block shot record again. He finishes with 8 block shots.
Adam Kirchhoff checking in, and Dixon just adding to the Danville lead. 42-36. Three-point try is missed by Nat Kreiser, and we have come to the end of this one. The Danville Vikings win their 28th game of the season. And it's good enough to earn them the third-place trophy. And the reason why the Danville Vikings will have this finish in the state tournament, a big reason, certainly is our player of the game, the American Dairy Player of the Game, brought to you by Milk. Enjoy real dairy products. Look for the real seal in your grocer's dairy case. How about Keon Clark?
Yeah, 11 points, 11 rebounds, 8 block shots. This young man, I think, if he puts a little weight on, should have some kind of future in college basketball.
Keon Clark and Gene Gorley are standing by now with Joe Passion.
Well, everybody's been talking about this big fella all throughout the tournament. He gets a third-place trophy. Coach, you got to be happy with the way things turned out, not getting the lead till 2:20 left.
Well, it was a struggle for us the whole ball game, especially offensively. I tried to rest the kids, and certainly wasn't one of our better ball games, but you know, things weren't going our way, and we weren't playing real well offensively, especially. But the kids hung in there, and like they've done all year long, they did a lot of good things in the key situations. We were able to come out with the win.
Keon, a lot of big tests for you during this tournament. This has got to be fulfilling.
Yes, but it would be more fulfilling to be in this next game coming up, but can't get them all. At least we got this one.
Congratulations, you guys picked up a great trophy to take home. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
All right, a big trophy, the first time in 22 years for the Danville Vikings. And we will be back with the finals of the Class A, AA, King of the Hill, three-point showdown of country companies, as well as the slam dunk. In the meantime, let's toss it back here to center court and handle it back over to Brian and Kenny.
Well, thank you, Joe. Danville scoring the last 6 points of the contest, defeating Fremd by 6, 42-36. And Kenny, our American Airlines American Eagle play of the game is brought to you by American Airlines and American Eagle. Something special in the air, and something special in the air this whole tournament, Keon Clark.
Well, you see the curl right there. Keon Clark gets the nice screen from Antatius Clark. Keon goes up with the alley-oop lob, the slam dunk. Beautiful play there by Keon Clark. The screens there by Antatius Clark and DeMarco Wright with the big screen also.
So Danville captures third place in this year's boys class AA state tournament, 42-36 over the Vikings of Palatine Fremd. And one of your network sponsors is Toyota. (42-36) our final, as Danville, they didn't have the lead until the final couple of minutes, but they end up winning the ball game by 6. Our stats are brought to you by Milk and the people who produce milk, the dairy farm families of Wisconsin and Illinois. And Kenny, we didn't see a lot of offense here tonight, but the superior size of Danville winning out, I think, in the end.
Yeah, I think the key stat there, Brian, was rebounding, 34-25, and of course, big Keon Clark had an outstanding second half.
And this certainly an example of what perseverance can do. Danville waited around for almost 30 minutes for this contest, but they end up getting the lead and the victory. Third place captured for the Danville Vikings. And now we are about set for our country company's three-point showdown. And for that, let's send things over to Dashin.